Enchanted Tiki Talk is brought to you by Kingdom Strollers. Our premium stroller and crib rentals are delivered straight to your Disney or Orlando area resort. It couldn't be easier. Book yours at kingdomstrollers.com. And Mouse Pros. Let our travel specialist plan your next vacation. Our concierge level service gives you the perfect hassle-free vacation. Get your free quote from Sean or any of our magical agents at mousepros.com. And Mickey Monthly, the Disney fans' monthly subscription box that brings the magic right to your door. Visit them at mickeymonthly.com. And buy Woody Sunglasses. Don't let glare ruin your magical view. These premium wood frame polarized sunglasses will let you tour the parks in style. Visit them at woodies.com. And now, it's show time!
Vahidi me kyonimana, ladies and gentlemen. No flashbulbs, please. Our performers are temperamental and easily upset. Thank you for your cooperation.
Oh, look at all the people.
My goodness, you're all staring at us. We better start the show rolling.
Wait. We forgot to wake up the Glee Club.
Hey, howdy, hey, and welcome to Enchanted Tiki Talk. We are your hosts. I'm Sean.
I'm Keith.
I'm Matt.
I'm Scott.
And I'm Alan.
So grab yourself a Dole Whip or a citrus roll, pull up a chair, and enjoy the show. This is episode 213 for the week of November 19th, 2017. Hello, everybody who's listening to us in your car, on your phone, at your desk, wherever it may be. Happy Thanksgiving week to you all out there, or if it's past Thanksgiving, then I hope you were stuffed and had a fun time with all your family and friends. So, this week on the show, we have a very special guest. We have Keith in the Tiki Hut.
Yay, hi everybody.
Well,
he's not the special guest.
Yeah, he's not the special guest. He's just special.
I should be at this point.
So we apologize if there's any audio issues this week. Keith is having problems. He can't figure out how to the headphone get into his laptop. But our very special guest, who is on a cell phone live somewhere in North Carolina, is Blair. Blair, what's going on?
Yay! Not much. Just ready to talk to y'all.
Nice.
Excited to be on.
Yeah, we're happy to have you on. For those who are new to the show or those who have been around since the beginning, Blair is Alan's wife, so we're so happy to have her back on the show. We're under much better circumstances this time than the last time that she was on, so thank you for coming on again.
Thank you for having me.
Before we get going on the show, but we'll talk about it shortly, but before we get into that, with Thanksgiving coming up, Blair, how do you plan on celebrating this year?
Staying in town and having a lunch and dinner with my family. How about y'all?
Sleep.
Sleep?
Sleep.
So mine's a staycation where I'm also just going to sleep and maybe have a Friendsgiving, but no family.
I've got 3 dinners I think I'm going to. I got in-laws 1, in-laws 2, and then we're doing ours on Saturday. So
Keith is eating for all of us.
Yes, and after Disney, I definitely don't really need all that food, but
you're going to sacrifice anyway.
Well, yeah, if I have to take one for the team, I will.
And then for myself, we start around 10 o'clock in the morning when people come over for breakfast and the parade. And 2 o'clock is usually dinner, and then dessert 5, 6 o'clock at night. And people just come in and out all day. But I'm hoping that we're not inviting the dessert people this year, because last year we were so exhausted by the end of the day. It's just a long day.
The dessert people, that sounds pretty fun.
It's not friends, it's just the dessert people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just the dessert people. The ones we don't like that much. I don't want to give up my turkey.
Do they bring dessert, or do you still want them to bring the pies? Just don't stay.
Well, no, they can. I mean, usually they'll bring their own dessert, and the problem is that they usually leave it here, and then we have like 18 pies, and there's no way I'm going to eat all, but it's like pumpkin pie, apple pie, there'll be cheesecake, there'll be cookies, all these different things. It's all great stuff, but it's just so much food.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. All right. Now that Thanksgiving is behind us, let's take a quick break. Sean here for an in-park update. We just got off Nave River Journey. Keith, what did you think?
It was amazing. That shaman has to be the greatest animatronic that they've ever built. It's just spectacular.
And it's one of those things where that I didn't want to give spoilers out when I talked about it, and you really want to experience it firsthand.
That's right. I mean, there no words that can actually get you to a place to understand that ride unless you just experience it.
I agree. Keith's wife, Jenny from the block, what's your thoughts?
Absolutely amazing.
You liked it too?
Absolutely.
Was it worth the wait?
Worth the wait. I'd go again.
How long was the wait?
15 minutes.
All right, so it's worth 15 minutes. So, Sean here signing off with an in-park update. We are back from break. So this week on the show, back, I guess about by the time this show airs, I guess it'll be about 3 weeks that we all had gotten together in Walt Disney World for the Wine and Dine Marathon. Really, all of us did the 5K, but Blair and Matt ended up doing the 10K and the half marathon. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about all of us getting together, a little bit about Run Disney. So first things first, I guess we should probably start with it's sort of like a trip report too. So we'll talk about where everybody stayed. Blair, where did you end up staying?
I was at the Animal Kingdom Lodge, Kidani Village.
Okay.
The first night that we got down there, we stayed at Art Animation, and then we moved over to Kidani, and poor Blair probably heard us every time that we left for the parks and came home, because it was, as soon as we opened the door, the boys take off running, and it's a constant, hey, stop, slow down, come back here, don't do that. So I'm sure she heard us every time we left.
If I do remember...
I did not. They were right across the hall from me, but I did not hear them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, you were getting back late every night anyway.
Yeah. I hope I wasn't keeping them up.
Keith. I know where Keith stayed.
I stayed at the Deluxe All-Star Sports Resort.
And I stayed at the Deluxe Music Resort, which I didn't even know where I was staying until I got there. I thought I was staying at Sports, but I found out when I got there.
So did you actually show up at Sports, or...?
No, I actually found out when I got online. No, right before we got online, I had to look it up. I couldn't remember which one it was. I knew it wasn't movies, but I thought it was at Sports with Keith. I guess not. Oh well, that was fine. It's no big deal.
Keith put in a request. He's like, please don't let this Sean guy stay with me.
Exactly.
They might as well still been in the same resort, as close as they still were.
I know. The funny thing is, I was closer to Keith's room than I was to the lobby at our resort. So,
which is scary that he actually knows that.
Yes.
So.
He measured it out.
I counted my steps.
I thought I heard some lurking outside the room, but I wasn't sure.
Was he staring in the window, Keith?
I think he was. I kept on hearing footsteps and loud panting, but I couldn't actually. I was afraid to open up the blinds to actually see what was happening.
He was waiting for you to leave so he could sneak in and put his underwear in your bed.
Yeah, probably.
And then he'd blame it on Jenny.
Speaking of Jenny, where is Jenny, Keith?
She actually changed her mind about coming on the show today.
Really?
As soon as I said Sean was happy about it, she was like, "No, I'm done. I'm not gonna."
You're lying. You're telling stories now.
He just creeps me out too bad, is her exact words. But
all right, so we all ended up getting together, all of us together for the first time at the race. But Matt and Blair, you guys got together prior to that. I know you guys went to Sanaa for dinner as a little mini get together. How was that?
It was good. I enjoyed it. It was the first time I was there. We did bread service with all the dips, and surprisingly, we didn't finish it all. I had the butter chicken. I think we all got butter chicken. It was weird because we all pretty much got the same stuff. But it was good. I enjoyed it. And it was easy access to waddle back up to the room after we got done eating. So.
Yeah, Sanaa's always great. I mean, you can't go wrong with the bread service, and I don't know why they even give you the option to pick 3 dips, because it's so hard to pick. So I'm glad we did all of them, and yeah, we all had the butter chicken. It's amazing. It's a great restaurant.
And were you attacked by any of the birds in the windows, like I was the last time I was there?
We were not sat in the window.
Yeah, we weren't next to a window, but when we were walking in, there was one of the crown cranes or whatever they are that was trying to get somebody to throw food. But yeah, he was putting on a show in front of one of the windows.
Oh, okay. You know, the one thing that I love about that restaurant is that the service there was incredible. I don't remember my waiter's name, but he was on top of the ball the whole time. And it's usually don't get anybody who's that good. I shouldn't say that. I have some restaurants I've had great waiters and some that aren't great, but the waiter that we had there was spectacular. On top of the kids, making sure the kids were eating when the kids weren't eating their vegetables, he was coming over and yelling at them. So that was good. I love that.
Were we at Sanaa or 50s?
Sanaa. He said he told the kids they're not getting dessert unless they eat their vegetables. So they were both eating their green beans.
That's what I'm saying. Usually that's 50s. You don't
exactly
hear or see that much. Yeah, our waiter was good. Again, I don't remember his name, but he was, on top of everything and, made sure we were well taken care of. So I didn't have any complaints really with the restaurant. I would go back there again without any questions.
Right. So I know that night you guys ended up going to one of the bars at the resort. We weren't able to make it because it got a little bit late in the evening, and it probably would have been an hour or so that we got there. Which bar did you end up drinking at?
My friend Sarah and I ended up going to Victoria Falls in Animal Kingdom in Jumbo. It was one of Alan and I's favorite place to go and just hang out and have a drink. So we thought we would go do that, and we did. Enjoy the Victoria Falls mist, which is amazing.
Yeah, I know Alan used to talk about that one.
Mm-hmm.
And there was something else there that he mentioned as well.
I think he might have had a beer there once. I'm not a beer person, so I don't know anything about beer. It's really nice. It overlooks Boma. It's right there in the lobby in Jumbo. It can get very loud, though, if it's at dinner time. It can be very loud with the noise from both the lobby and Boma. But it's a nice place to just go and relax and have a quick bite to eat. And
do they still have the Yak and Yeti shaved ice martini there?
No, not that I saw.
Something like that, right? Don't they have they used to have a shaved ice martini?
I did not see that. I always order the Victoria. I don't even have to look at the menu. I just order the Victoria Falls. I should probably branch out.
So, also on that day, everybody ended up going to, this was I think Thursday, everybody ended up going to the expo to pick up their bib. I know, Blair, that you ran through and you just picked up your bib and didn't really spend much time walking through there, right?
No, I mean, we went through, we didn't spend a ton of time in the expo part. We went through the Run Disney merchandise part. We spent a good amount of time in there. It was different than past races. I don't know if anyone else has ever done a Run Disney race, but they set it up very differently than they have in the past. But it was well run. They know exactly what they're doing.
I know that me, Matt, and Keith and Jenny enjoyed running through the whole thing. First of all, we thought it was going to close at, I think, 4 o'clock, so we were telling Matt it was closing at 4 o'clock. And Matt's like, I guess I'm not going to be running tomorrow. And we ended up...
I knew it was at 7. I thought Keith was trying to I was like, I know it closes at 7. He's like, no, it closes at 4. Trust me. And I was like, you're not getting me with that one, buddy. I know it closes at 7. He's like, oh, okay, we just looked. It closes at 7.
Yeah,
we generally thought that it was at 4 o'clock because we took it raced over there, and then we found out that it was actually 7.
Yeah, we actually had to find a cast member just to find out for sure.
Luckily Scott drove us over there, so we didn't have to wait for the buses or go back to the resort and go and get on the bus and go back there. But when Scott was with us, Scott wanted to find out about the transportation to the race the next day, and he kept getting the runaround. Oh, you got to go talk to this person, go talk to that person. And he finally talked to the person, and she was like chewing your ear off for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, so she was with Mirror's transportation as opposed to being Disney transportation, and obviously I was driving since I wasn't staying at a Run Disney resort. And I wanted to know if it would be easier for me to pick them up from their resort and park at Animal Kingdom. And because the transportation said that people had to be on the bus from the resorts by 4 o'clock to get there. Well, the race was until 5:30. So my question was, what time do I need to be in the parking lot? And can I park at the parking lot since it was Animal Kingdom? And she's like, well, you could park at the resort with them, but you still need to be on the bus by 4. And I don't recommend driving because there's going to be 6,000 people. And then you have to deal with traffic. I'm like, at 3 o'clock, how many people are really driving in as opposed to staying on property? And I could not get a straight answer for it, so I think I left with more questions than I did walking in there.
Yeah. And that's the one thing about Run Disney was that Scott picked us up at 4 o'clock, and I think we were there at 4:05. But Matt and Blair, you guys got there 4:30 4:40 or something like that, a little bit later, right?
Yeah, I was in the lobby. It was, the first morning, I think I woke up at like 2. Like, not on my own, but not on with an alarm. I just randomly woke up at 2 and I couldn't get back to sleep. So I was like, well, I guess I'll just get up. And I went and sat in the lobby until, I guess it was 4-ish, maybe, when Blair came down. And she was like, I don't want to go over there and stand in corrals forever. So we kind of waited around until the guy that was, I guess, directing all the buses kind of was hinting that, all right, y'all need to go ahead and get on the bus and get out of here. So, yeah, we kind of waited around until, I guess, the last minute to get on a bus, so we didn't have to go there and just stand around and watch people.
Like we did.
Which we ended up doing anyway.
Yeah.
You're right, yeah.
Well, yeah, because that's the next time when I do a Run Disney event again, but like I said, because I plan to do more, I'm not planning to get there at 4 o'clock or the beginning of it. There's no reason
or even
for
5
it.
o'clock.
Yeah, because we could have gotten there at 5, and because we were in Corral D, we didn't end up going until 6 o'clock, and the race started at 5:30 or a little after 6. So,
we watched winners across the finish line.
Yes.
Yeah, that was sad.
Yeah. But
they had finished before we even started.
Uh-huh. Yeah. But we did get to see Santa Claus.
And his Christmas tree.
Yes. I got to high-five him. Yep.
Yep, that was good. And we ended up getting passed by a 5-year-old girl a couple times, a couple different 5-year-old girls.
Yep.
So
Thank you, PhotoPass, for capturing those beautiful images.
So that was rough, but
she was on like some kind of performance-enhancing drugs, I'm sure.
She needs her medal taken away.
Well, yeah, they should test them little kids.
So why don't we talk a little bit about everybody's... Matt, that was your first time going through Pandora at night, and Blair, I think that was your first time in Pandora at night too, right? I should say in the dark, not at night.
Yes.
Ever. I had never been in Pandora until we ran through it for the 5K.
So Keith, you were there. We were there the first night we went through it during the dark. But what was your guys' impression of Pandora?
It was crowded. I mean, it was awesome. I mean, I wish I would have gotten a chance to see it when it was, at night and at dark. The sun was starting to come up, so it kind of, didn't have the full-on effect that you would want it to have. So I kind of wish it was either a little earlier or, I'd gotten it when it was darker or something to kind of get the full effect. But it was cool to see. I liked that they had the drummers out there playing. They kind of told you, where you could stand to get the best picture with the mountains behind you as you went through. So it was cool to see and everything. And they had the PhotoPass set up right there with the whatever that Terminator-looking thing is, where Keith got his boobly balls.
Boobly balls.
Boobly balls.
Great boobly woobly.
For those who don't know what a boobly ball is, what's the real name?
Boba balls.
Boba balls that are in your drinks and some of your foods at Santulli Canteen.
The yogurt balls.
The yogurt balls.
The exploding balls.
I thought Pandora was beautiful. Sorry, back on track. I thought Pandora was beautiful. I mean, I didn't get a chance to go back over there like in dark or dusk light, so it was nice to be able to run through it and see. It was not nearly as packed in the 5K as it was during the day in the park.
Right.
It was beautiful. All my pictures are blurry though because I was moving and trying to take pictures. So
yeah, because we were trying to run too, which
yeah.
Well, don't worry, I've got plenty of pictures of Pandora I can send you.
I would say there's a difference between trying to run and doing the fast shuffle like we were actually doing through there.
Yeah, it was really hard to run in that place. It was hard.
It was.
Animal Kingdom minus the parking lot is not meant for a run.
Yeah, because you're constantly the pathways are so tight that you can't get around anybody. Because a lot of people, I'm going to say a good percentage, at least 50% of the people are walking it, or walking most of it. So,
but also, it doesn't help that like we had mentioned, I think last show, that it's not timed. They're not pushing you through. They don't have sweepers like they do on the longer races. So people want to take their time. There's a few characters in there that were, I think, kind of rare, so they were going to stop and take pictures with them. And so, I mean, there's really not a big rush for them to get through in any certain time. And
right.
So, yeah, and if you're not out in front of the crowd, then you're just at the mercy of what the crowd does. And if they slow down, then you're going to slow down with them. So
right. But
I can't believe fed us through that little bridge between Pandora and Africa. It would just seemed very narrow to me. That was the most narrow spot to me. It seemed very unsafe.
Well,
that part was rough, and that surface itself, that deck guardian needs to be replaced, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
Well, also then towards the end, when you got to the turnaround point, when you were in the backstage area, there was no way you were running through there because everybody was on top of each other.
Yeah.
But you wanted to because it smelled like garbage.
Yeah, it's true.
Like you wanted to just get through that as fast as humanly possible.
Oh, that was nothing, trust me.
Yes, that was nothing. Trust me.
Yeah, we can talk about that. But the one, another thing we forgot to mention was we got to go, Rivers of Light. Everything was lit up for Rivers of Light.
Right.
And that was cool because I've never seen any portion of Rivers of Light live. And then in the backstage area, you had the broken piece of Rivers of Light that was just sitting there.
Yeah, we tried to get Scott to hide on there for the next show, but he wouldn't do it.
Ride it out that night.
I was waiting for somebody to go, do not look at the man behind the curtain, Like, you're not supposed to be looking at that. But the 5K was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun running that and finishing that. And then Blair, you did something really mean to me at the end of the race, if I remember correctly.
What was that?
I think you did that to yourself and got a drink out of it. So
no, Blair told me I had to.
Before I levied the bet.
Yeah, so we had, after we got our medals, and they give you a little snack package there. Inside it was tortilla chips, some kind of cheese, Oreos, and a couple other things. And Blair dared me to.
It's the same cheese they serve with the pretzels.
What's that?
If anyone has to make a pretzel with cheese, it's the same exact cheese.
Oh, okay, yeah. But Blair dared me to take my Oreo and dip it in the cheese and eat it. And she said if I do it, she'd buy me a Lapu Lapu for dinner.
At first it was $1, then it went to a Lapu Lapu.
Right, yeah, well, I was jumping on that in a heartbeat.
It escalated quick.
Yes.
Yes, it did.
And I ate it, and then somebody said I should do the second one, and I did the second one too. And it's not as terrible as one would think, but it's something that I really plan to do again. I mean, if you want to go out there and try it, people, go ahead and take the Oreo cheese challenge. Go for it. I mean, maybe it's a new trend I'm going to start.
I think to get the full effect, though, you have to run a 5K and then eat that.
Yeah. I probably, if I did that right now, I'd probably puke.
Yeah, forget the banana, the Powerade, anything else. Just go straight for the Oreo and cheese.
Right, exactly.
I did find out that cheese they sell, I think it's at the Dollar General. So if you want to go pick some up, you can reenact it.
I'm good. I'm really good.
That'll be on next week's live show.
Right.
All right, so I know after that, everybody went back and showered and cleaned themselves up, and we ended up going back to Animal Kingdom for more Pandora. And Blair, you ended up going onto the Navi River journey, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What did you think of that?
It was beautiful. It's the attention to detail is amazing. I know nothing about Avatar though, so it meant nothing to me. I mean, it was beautiful. I'm glad I had a fast pass for it. I don't know that it's something that I would wait. I think at the time we were there, the wait was 180 minutes.
Right.
So I don't know that it's something that I'd wait 180 minutes for, but if you have a fast pass, it's worth it. It's visually beautiful and breathtaking. And
you didn't get to go on Flight of Passage during the trip, right?
I had a fast pass, but I ultimately decided not to go on it because I get motion sickness, and it was probably best for me not to go on it.
Right. Keith, I know you got to ride it, and I think you sent me the audio clip of you riding it. Your thoughts afterwards?
I actually got to ride it twice. The first time was a fast pass we had, and it's hard to explain. Everybody says it's like Soarin' on steroids, which it is, but there is nothing that will actually prep you for that actual ride. I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't ridden it.
Thanks, appreciate that.
Yeah, sure thing, buddy. It's amazing. And then when my parents were down, we didn't actually have a fast pass for it, but as we did the standby line right like when the park was closing. The sign said it was like 150 minutes, which I think that they just put that there to kind of like dissuade people like away from it. We actually waited about like 55 minutes, which at that point, it's still completely worth it. I know that Mom was just in shock by that ride. and she's a big like Soarin' fan too. So like I really wanted her to experience that ride, and I was happy that we did.
That's good.
But yeah, the pre-show part kind of like drags on.
Yeah, it does.
But I guess that's a small complaint. Like if you've stood like in line staring at shrubs and trees for 4 hours, I guess a pre-show room's not too bad. But yeah, I mean it's totally worth an hour wait. Anything more though, I just don't know if I would actually wait like 2 hours for something there.
Right.
Did you like the overall queue for it since you did do it on standby?
I did. It seemed like it switched back forever. Like as soon as you thought that you were close, you realized that you're not anywhere close. The animatronic that was inside the tank is really cool. Once you actually get into the building itself is really cool. But if you can fast pass it because the standby queue isn't worth your time.
All right, so later that day we all got together for a nice little family dinner at Ohana. I know that Ohana was one of Alan's favorite, and Blair, your favorite restaurants on property. You guys love going there too. Probably more for the sole purpose of drinking one of the greatest drinks of all time, in which Alan would call Nectar of the Gods, the Lapu Lapu.
Mm-hmm.
That was the celebratory drink for many of us there. Keith, myself, Blair, you got one.
I did.
It was so good. It was.
Good.
And then I know Matt had a beer. He didn't want to partake in the fun with us. And then Scott had to be difficult and asked for I don't know what it was. I forget what it was. He wanted
spiky pineapple.
A spiky pineapple from downstairs.
I asked if they had the spiky pineapple, which is a drink that they serve at Trader Sam's down below. And one of the managers just happened to be walking past, and our server didn't know. And if that wasn't the case, I was going to get it back after a Lapu Lapu. And the manager was like, "No, but I'll go downstairs and get one." And it turned into like a 45-minute later, him forgetting about 3 times to get my drink. But it turned into one of the best free drinks ever too.
But what did you say about that, the manager?
So he is a legacy winner, which for those that don't know, it's the blue name tag that they are nominated from fellow cast members for being essentially the best of the best. And I joked with our servers, how did he win his legacy award after our server was kind of getting on a joke of him continuously missing and forgetting it. So he then had me ask the manager as well as how did he get that, which he had a good laugh out of it.
Yeah, he did.
I liked the visual, and I think I may have been the only one that got this visual because of the side of the table that it was on. The manager walking out of the kitchen after he hadn't gotten Scott's drink for 45 minutes. He saw our table. The server goes, "You've forgotten about his drink," and he literally turned on his heel and went right back in the kitchen.
Oh, really?
I mean, he didn't even miss a beat. He was like, "Oh, God," and turned around and walked back in the kitchen.
Yeah, I didn't get to see that. But the Ohana dinner was great. I had my my cheese Oreo celebration Lapu Lapu. I love that. Yeah. It was good, but everybody devoured everything. We were all little piggies at that dinner, but it was a lot of fun doing that.
We worked for that dinner.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you could say that. Everybody was full. I mean, we pretty much cleared our plates for everything.
Yeah.
And even Blair, you and I, we were eating the pineapples out of the Lapu Lapu.
Yes. We were digging the pineapple.
Scraping away. And Keith, you were very happy with your dinner. It's a place that you said you probably would never try, but you went. You did it.
Yeah, it was our first time there, but the food was excellent. Everything was really good. The service was excellent. The only thing, and I'm not sure if it's me, but it kind of felt like the servers were kind of in a rush to serve us. I don't know. It's almost like the salad came and then immediately the appetizers came and they took that away and then they threw the skewers of meat at us. I mean, there was no rest in between courses.
Have you ever seen A Christmas Story?
Yes.
You know when the mother says, "Show me how the piggies eat"?
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Well, I almost wonder, because I think they do it as almost 2 or 3 seatings a night, kind of how it seems based on timing with fireworks and everything else. But we also didn't get seated for about 40 minutes past our reservation time that we had. And for a table of 15, there's my guess was probably another large group waiting for our table for us to go. So I have a feeling that's probably one reason they were trying to rush it.
Right. I don't want to make it sound as if we didn't get enough food. It just felt like that we didn't have that timeout period in between courses.
Well, then you would eat less. You don't want that.
Yeah, true.
So, and then afterwards, we tried to go down to Trader Sam's, but I think it was going to be about 8 of us that were going to end up going to Trader Sam's. It was like a 2-hour wait to get in there, so we opted not to do that. But that's when, Scott, you left with your family and said goodbye and went on a ride on the monorail. And the rest of us went to the Magic Kingdom. Matt with his family, Blair with me, Keith, Jenny, and my older son, Fred, which most people don't know about.
I love that guy.
He'll be 43 next month, but he's like my oldest child. But we went to the Magic Kingdom. We had a lot of fun there. Matt, we did a big group picture in front of the castle, and that was great to do that. I know that was Matt's kids were not too happy about it, but they did it.
Keith, was that the one where my oldest tried to photobomb your picture, or was that?
Yes, that was it.
Yeah, oh yes, that was it. That's right.
I think he was disappointed he didn't get to photobomb the picture. That's his thing is, but he doesn't. I wouldn't have minded.
It was funny.
He doesn't do it casually and sneak in. He announces everybody photobomb and tries to jump in the picture. I'm like, we're not going to take the picture because we know what you're doing now, kid.
Right. But we tried to. I know after that, that's when we found out about. Just prior to that, we found out about the new pretzel that we needed to try over at the lunching pad, which was the salted caramel stuffed pretzel, and we wanted to try it. So I know that we made a mad dash over to the lunching pad to try to get it, but it was closed. They just closed earlier, so that was kind of a bummer that night. But Matt, I don't remember where you ended up going to that evening. You guys went and did something else.
Well, we tagged along with y'all. We did.
There's the TTA.
We did TTA, then we did Carousel Progress, and then I think we ended up going over to Fantasyland. Maybe I can't remember.
You did Pooh and stuff, I think, because
that's right. Yeah, I had a fast pass for for when y'all went and did the fireworks.
Right.
And we had a fast pass. We went and got on Pooh, and of course there was nobody in line, so we literally. I don't know why they made us. We had to get off and then get back on, even though it was the exact same ride vehicle. But we rode it twice, and we went and did a couple other things, and then end up watching the castle show on the way out before going back that night.
Okay. Yeah, we ended up watching. It was funny because towards the end of the night, we ended up watching the fireworks, and then we were doing okay, what do you want to do next? So. I think Blair. No, somebody picked Buzz Lightyear.
You asked. Yeah, we picked Buzz Lightyear, and then you asked me if I'd ever been on Barnstormer.
Right. Yeah. So we did Buzz Lightyear right away. Then I think we did Dumbo, and then after Dumbo, we ended up doing the Barnstormer because you had never done it before. I know Alan had said he'd never done it either. So I just would have been it was a great idea to do that, and you enjoyed it. You thought it was fun.
It was fun. It was very quick. I wanted to do it again, but they made us get off.
I know, that was a bummer.
Y'all must have been right behind us because I think we rode Dumbo a couple times. Didn't have to get off, and then we went and did Barnstormer a couple times. So you must have been literally right behind us when.
Yeah, because after we had gotten off Barnstormer, I think we had 7 minutes, and the park was going to close. So
something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, we walked on Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid, right? Yeah, they made us go through the fast pass side. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that was fun. That was a fun way to end it. So we enjoyed that, and I know that you wanted to get back to the room because you were running the race the next day. So the 10K, because it was already 10 o'clock at night. So that's where you guys can start talking about your 10K.
Let's see. 10K started. It was in the parking lot for Magic Kingdom again, right? Yes.
Yes. Started in the parking lot outside Magic Kingdom.
And we thought we were all smart. We started creeping up towards what we thought was going to be towards the front of the corral. And we found out that we were actually, the way we went in, it turned as you moved. So we were actually going further to the back of the corral. And then it dawned on us that's why everybody was so willing to let us move past them because we're going further back in the line. Which, for those of you that don't don't know the crowd. They let you off at a staggered pace, so not everybody's going at one time, and yada yada yada. So we got to listen to them promote and ask how many of us were going to be doing the half marathon, and how many were going to be coming back in January. About 25 times. I think we literally had a spiel down by the time.
And don't forget whose first 10K is it? Who's doing your first 10K today? Oh, you get a personal record.
Yeah, he doesn't deviate from his script very much. There was the question. It was, is there anybody running here with a significant other? Are you running with your friend? Are you running with, and it was the same thing like each corral. So after we were in F, so after, I don't know, 5 or 6 different times of that, we're just kind of like, all right, can we just please get out of here so we don't have to listen to this guy anymore?
Yeah.
But I mean, there wasn't really a whole lot for the first couple of miles. You're just running down, and Scott, you're gonna have to tell me the name of the roads because I can't remember. You're just running down whatever that main
World Drive.
Okay, and they're doing a lot of construction there, so there's not a lot to see. They did have a couple of screens that were up ever so often, and there was one of them was playing the live action Beauty and the Beast. And there was another that just had like random clips from different movies and stuff. So they tried to do something to kind of entertain you, but there was really nothing until we got into. Yeah, there was a few characters. I don't even remember which ones we passed. I don't remember now.
I don't.
I didn't take notes as we were running, so sorry. But anyway, there was really not anything until we got into Hollywood Studios. And came in there was a Green Army man out there, and he was funny, but I could see if someone didn't really understand the humor, could have been a little insulted, because he was literally just ragging on everybody. There's too much walking going on. Pick up the pace. Let's go. This is a race, not a walk-a-thon. So I mean, he was, giving it to everybody. But
he called us lollygaggers.
So
that is just like absolutely perfect.
Yeah, well, that's I don't know how many out there have seen Bull Durham or get the reference, but that was a movie that Alan always referenced all the time. So I thought it was perfect about the time that we went by. He was like, "You bunch of lollygaggers," and that's the first thing that popped in my head was that scene from Bull Durham. So, but we went into the back entrance of Studios right by Fantasmic, and come out by Tower of Terror, which it was still somewhat dark, so it was still kind of had the purple glow to it, and it was eerie, which made it a little bit, I guess, more eerie, as it was a full moon that night, and it was literally right over the Tower of Terror. So there was lots of people stopping and taking pictures. They had Oswald was out there, but they had someone there that were telling people, like, if you get in line here, there's a chance you will not finish the race. So we kept on pushing. And then you get into, if you guys thought Pandora was bad, you make a left out of Studios, and you go in that walkway to the boardwalk from the Studios, and it literally, I mean, everything just stopped. I mean, there's a few patches of grass here and there that you can try and get around people, but you're literally at the mercy of the crowd then, and it was a lot of shuffling feet and people trying to jockey for position and everything.
Everybody was running to each other and kept saying, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry."
Yeah, it was just, "Excuse me, I'm sorry, excuse me, I'm sorry, excuse me, I'm sorry." So it was difficult to get through there. You got into Boardwalk, which wasn't bad, except for it was kind of foggy that morning. So the boardwalk was literally like trying to walk on ice. So it made it interesting in a few. I think, Blair, you slipped at one spot. You were trying to go around a bench or something.
Yeah, I basically stopped running through there. It was way too slick.
After that, went into Epcot, and we got to see where Ratatouille is going, which right now is just a bunch of dirt. So hopefully it looks a lot better when they're done with it. Mm-hmm. Came out in between, where was
Canada and the UK.
Yeah, that's right. And turned left through Canada and then went into Future World. Basically ran right up to Spaceship Earth, and took a right where the bathrooms and everything are. And you went a right and went out the park into backstage and then off into the parking lot to finish. So it was fun. Like I said, there wasn't a whole lot to see until you got into the parks. As Scott, that you can attest, and anybody else that's gone down there, World Drive is not really the best thing to see. I wish that they would have had, a monorail or something come by on the track. That would have been kind of cool to see. But other than that, there wasn't a whole lot to see until you really got into the parks.
Right.
Yeah, the first 3 or 4 miles were all road race. It was monotonous.
Well, not only that, but like you said, there's really nothing to see, but there's so much construction going on right now, too.
Yeah, I mean, they did a few things, like they had a band playing. There was a gas station. I think it was a Circle K. And it was like right when you went past the gas station, there was like a high school band there that was playing. And like I said, a few screens they had set up. So, I mean, they tried to do some stuff to kind of, entertain you and take off your mind that you're just, trudging along the side of a road. But it was fun for what it was. I've definitely done some other races that are a lot of road running and have much less entertainment. So it's kind of hard to complain when you have other things you can compare it to.
I don't know. You pay for a Run Disney race, so I feel like the Run Disney races are so expensive. I feel like I could do a road race for less, and I want to run in the park.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you're paying for it, is for that extra touches that you're not getting on the roads.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they did shoot off fireworks for us. I mean,
that's
I haven't seen any other races that done that.
True. And because
we got to see like 30.
We got to see all the fireworks.
Right.
So later that day, we ended up getting together at the Magic Kingdom. Blair, Matt wasn't with us, but we went to Columbia Harbor House for lunch, and you got to experience Scott eating his child's meal, but
that we thought a cast member was going to go after you while we were in line.
Because we're all spread out on different lines ordering our food, and I think they announced that, like, kids, the guy who's serving it announced like a kid's meal, and I was going off on you saying like, sir, you shouldn't be ordering it.
They brought it up, and you were like the next row over and like behind me, and I just feel you tap on my shoulder, like, sir, excuse me, you didn't order that for the kids meal, or you didn't order a kids meal if you don't have a kid, right? And the cast member behind the counter just kind of looked like something's about to go down.
Yeah, they didn't know we were together, and his eyes got really big, like, oh god, there's going to be a fight.
Yeah, that was it. But Scott, we always give you a hard time eating the kids meal, so I just thought that was hilarious.
It was great.
You just missed it, Blair, because he didn't get the smiley face on it. He didn't get the smiley face.
I made it on my plate, though.
You made a smiley face on your plate. I missed that.
I took chicken nuggets as the eyes, and then I took the fish stick piece as the mouth.
Is that really a kick meal? Chicken nuggets and fish sticks?
Yep.
It was the chicken and fish. It's the exact same thing as the adult meal, but you also get a drink and like 2 sides and whatever else, and it's like half the price.
It was like a chocolate milk,
a go-go squeeze, a yogurt,
like a squeeze pouch.
It was
so great to watch him sit there and eat that squeeze pouch.
He eats it all too.
Chocolate milk.
He did clean his plate.
Yes, he did.
Completely plate.
And then after that, we ended up having our meetup over at the Enchanted Tiki Room. So we, thank you everybody that showed up. We had fun doing that. We weren't sure if more than one person was going to show up. We had a few people show up, so that made us happy. And we ended up doing the Tiki Room, and we bought Dole Whips and citrus rolls for everybody that showed up there as well. So we had such a long line at the citrus roll line. It was just there's so many people that love citrus rolls. Not too many people over at the Dole Whip line.
Yeah, they were done with their Dole Whip by the time we got ours.
I know.
They staff a lot of extra people there because the crowds are so big that it takes more cast members to staff Aloha than it does the other place.
No, I don't think that's it.
I won't mention.
But thank you everybody who showed up. We gave away some Tiki swag pins, magnets, bottle openers, coffee. Thanks to Trader Sam's for giving that away, and then we gave away some sunglasses, thanks to Woody's Sunglasses. So thank you to our sponsors for doing that as well. That was awesome.
It was really fun. I mean, like Sean said, this was like our first one, and we weren't absolutely sure, like if anybody was going to show up, and there's quite a few people show up, so it's just really nice to meet like everybody and kind of like share an experience with people and enjoy a Dole Whip float, which is, you know, the greatest thing on the planet. So,
and we were
Dole Whip swirl float.
Well, yeah, the swirl float is better than the actual Dole Whip float.
And we were also part of a scavenger hunt for the Disney Nerds podcast. Thanks, Jimmy, for allowing us to be part of that. Mm-hmm. That was fun doing that. We enjoyed that, meeting some of the people that was participating in the scavenger hunt, and we gave out some swag there as well. And then Dave Koch from the Mickey Dudes, the Mickey Dudes for stopping by. So thank you for stopping by. And there's some others as well, so that was fun. And then I ended up taking off after that. But Blair and Matt, you guys ended up.
No, we all did Tiki Room.
Oh, we all did the Tiki. Yeah, we all did the Tiki Room after that.
Yeah.
And then the next day, you guys ended up doing the half marathon because you guys are just crazy.
I would agree. I temporarily lost my mind.
Have you decided if you're doing another half yet or not?
I think I might. Yes, I think I might go crazy again and do another one. Yes.
Wow.
But yes, I said I was going to do the half for Al, and then I did it, and I crossed the finish line, and I'm proud of myself for finishing.
You did very well. I was very happy to be there. It was, it was actually nice for Florida. It wasn't, blazing. A lot of people were complaining about the humidity, but the clouds kept it kind of covered up, so you didn't have to worry too much about the humidity. So it was actually decent running conditions, and again, it was a lot of on the roads. We did get to go back into Animal Kingdom as well as the studios and Epcot. It was all pretty much the same. In Animal Kingdom,
it was like the races. It was like the 5K and the 10K matched together. The course, Yeah,
the 5K part of it, you didn't really do the parking lots. We went in the back of Animal Kingdom. I couldn't tell you again how we got there. I just know that we passed the the hospital for the elephants and the holding pens for the white rhinos and all this other animal stuff. And then I think we came right out into Pandora basically and ran through the same part of Pandora. Again, it was tight. I think they had the drummers out. I can't really remember. I just remember them directing. They were trying to direct traffic for people taking pictures. We went around the Tree of Life and out the front. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Dinoland. And then out the front gates. And then on to Studios. Went to Studios. Yeah, so it was back on the road. We did some more road running. Past the Army man again. He didn't call us lollygaggers this time, so I guess he approved of our attempts that we were making at the half marathon. It was about this point where I kind of looked back over my shoulder and I could see the balloon ladies coming, which for those of you that haven't done a Run Disney race, in most races they have a pace requirement. You have to stay ahead of front of that race or that pace, and if you don't, then they will what they call sweep you. They basically will just take you off the course and take you straight to the finish line. And I was hoping that Blair didn't see it because I didn't want her to start panicking or anything, because we still had enough of a gap between us. Yeah, that I wasn't too worried about it. But I knew if she saw it, then it was probably going to be worse than than if she didn't know about it. So I was glad she didn't see him there. And it wasn't far from there that we actually went into Studios. Same thing. Went in the back by Fantasmic and Tower of Terror, and then back out the front through the sardine can over towards Boardwalk.
But this time they moved us around Beach Club instead of Boardwalk.
Yeah, they sent us the other, which was actually kind of cool because it was the first time I got to have seen Beach Club and Yacht Club. I've never been over on that side of it, so it was kind of cool to see that area. And there was actually a lot of people either out on their balconies or porches or right there by the course cheering us on, which I guess if you have those rooms right there where everybody's running, you're not going to be sleeping much because it's pretty loud. So but yeah, went into Epcot and same way came in the back way right behind France, but this way we turned right and went all the way around World Showcase. and into Future World, and then over, you exit out the same way. I was a little disappointed. The 10K right before you finish, they have it was like a gospel choir. Everybody's in these gold robes. It was really cool to see, and they're, I don't know what it was they were singing, but they're singing some song basically, celebrating right before you cross the line. No, it wasn't Small World. So I was expecting that, and I was wanting to get like a video or pictures of them going by, and it's no offense if they're listening, but it was the same stupid high school band that we saw at the beginning of the race. So I was kind of disappointed at that, but no, it was a lot of fun. I think Epcot was really the only park that we got into where they had already opened and there was a few guests, which was kind of cool to see. They had had a partition for where the runners would be and everybody else on the other side. But yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. Wouldn't trade the experience, getting to be there with Blair all the way across. I was with Alan when he did his first half marathon, and it was just special to do it with Blair and cross the line with her too. So I thoroughly enjoyed every minute of it.
Thank you for staying with me. I was very slow and drug him down, but because I was so slow, he was able to give all of your lovely listeners live videos of the parks as we went through them.
I probably got them seasick, so I'm sure the way I was bouncing through the parks, I'm sure they just got seasick and stopped watching.
Well, it's funny because about 90% of your PhotoPass pictures from the race are you with a cell phone in front of your face.
But
the sacrifices I make for our listeners.
You missed the part where they took us around the waist.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I'll let you talk about that because that was your favorite part.
That was the part I wanted to run. I think we might have gone through that part really quickly. I just remember I took a really deep breath in and almost threw up because of the smell. And Matt goes, "Oh, are you okay?" Yeah,
there was a couple times she gagged, and I was like, "Oh, this is not good." If she loses it here, I don't know if she's going to make it the rest of the race.
It was not a side of Disney we all usually see. It was definitely way backstage.
It was their waste management. It was like trash. It was sewage. It was, I mean, you name it. It was all about. And yeah, it was. The wind was blowing in the wrong direction that morning. I'll say that.
It was quite an experience, but it was my first half marathon, and it was very emotional to finish it. But I'm glad I was able to finish.
Yeah, I know the night before you were a little worried about you might not be able to finish it, but you did it. I mean, that's a great accomplishment to think that really anybody can run that distance, whether you're walking, running, whatever it is, and going into a marathon is a whole other beast too. But it's a lot. 13 miles is a lot for anybody to do. So that's impressive.
And
especially after everything we had done the 3 days prior. Right. I mean, it wasn't just doing 13 miles. It was getting up at 4:00 in the morning, 3 mornings in a row, and doing the 5K and the 10K, and then going full force in the parks all day and staying up and, just trying to make the most of your vacation. So it definitely wasn't the best way to do a half marathon. So it was nerve-wracking, yes.
Right. And I know, you thought that think that they should start out with the half marathon and work their way down, so you get the hardest part out of the way, which isn't a bad idea.
I think we should do the hardest first, and then we can go, okay, it's all downhill from here.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So now, before Alan passed away last year, he was planning to run this race. That's why we were all here doing it. I know that he was planning to do the half marathon, and there was no way I was doing the half marathon, but that's why we decided on the 5K. Were you planning to run the half as well before?
I was not. No, I had no. He wanted to do the 2-course challenge. That was always his plan. We originally had a trip booked. Booked it in a couple weeks before he passed. And he wanted to do the 2-course challenge, the 10K and the half. I had no plans to do that. I was going to let him do that on his own. That was not my plan until about early January of this year.
Right. I'm glad we all got to do it, though. It was a great thing to be part of, having everybody together for that.
I agree. I'm glad and I'm sure he was very glad that we were able to do it.
Yeah, it was a rough year for many of us, for all different reasons, but for you the most. And it wasn't easy for you to come down here either. So, you left Grace at home, and that's not easy. It's one thing leaving your child for a night, but when you were down there for, I think, 6 nights, I think it was.
Yeah.
6 nights. So that wasn't easy for you either. So that made it even harder.
Yeah. Yeah. It's it was difficult, but it was fun, and it helped having all of y'all there to, tour the parks with and celebrate with, and definitely not something that I would have wanted to do on my own.
Right. And we tried to do as much as we could for Alan. We couldn't do Splash Mountain, which would have been great if we had done that, but that was closed, unfortunately. But we did a little other things here and there, which was nice. And I think all of us at some point felt that he was around.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I know for me and for Jenny too, the race was very emotional for us, and that's once it was done and all of us were standing there, and she kind of broke down, and then I broke down, and then all of us started choking up, and it was extremely special. It's not, hit the way that any of us wanted to do that, but I think that it was very much needed for all of us to do that together.
Yeah.
Well, and Sean, I know I had mentioned to you when you, Fred, and myself were at Studios, and we were in line for Tower of Terror, and I was on a time crunch to get home, and they told us it was closed. We could only see that, one drop was working. We get all the way up. We get onto the elevator, seatbelts on, and then the ride breaks down. And as we were sitting there, I looked over at you, and I said, the last time I ever rode that ride was with Alan.
Yeah. And
then it just broke down, and at that point, I couldn't wait for it to come up, which it never did. But, that kind of hit me of, I'd never had remember that was the last time I had done that.
Right. Yeah, I was looking forward to riding that attraction, and because I haven't done that in a few trips, and I was really looking forward to doing it on this trip, and it didn't work out, but I think it was probably a reason why it didn't work out. So, maybe because the next time it's supposed to be another group trip for everybody to do it again. So, I mean, that would be something I would love to be able to do. And speaking of, the groups, with everybody doing Run Disney, who here feels that they would do it again in a heartbeat? Not necessarily all the races, but at least a 5K or a 10K.
Oh, I would.
I would do them all, no doubt.
I would not do them all, but I would do them. I don't know that I would ever do that again, but I would do at least a 10K.
I've always said that my ultimate bucket list thing would be to go down there and do Dovey. So until that's crossed off my list, then yes, I'll continue to do as many, I guess, as my wife will graciously let me do.
I'll do as many as my wallet will let me do.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of where the wife comes in. She's the one that kind of reins me in with those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love doing it. I got the Run Disney bug now. I'm hoping that my, work-wise, that I ended up finding a good company to work for where I'm making money where I can afford to be able to do that. But I would love to be able to do a 10K. I think that's my next goal is to do a 10K, and I would love to be able to do it next November.
Might as well.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll be there.
I want to be there.
I would do a 5 again, for sure. I would like to try the 10. I think that I would probably have to be a little stricter in my training than I was for this one. I definitely think it's possible. I think that's as far as I would go.
Right.
These old football knees can't really do a whole lot more than that. So, especially with all the poundage that's on top of those knees. But, which is not football's fault. But yeah, that's a goal of mine as well.
Well, then you also have the person that passed away at the half marathon. So that kind of puts things in perspective too, at least for myself, that maybe I won't push myself that far. So I'll stick to the 10K.
Right.
Because after we did the 3K, I was ready to run more. I was like, I would have done another 3 at that point.
Right. We were good. Adrenaline was going strong.
Eat that Oreo and cheese and run another 3 miles.
I would have done it. It was fun. So closing thoughts for anybody?
No, I just gotta say thank you to you guys. I mean, this was the trip that I needed for a lot of reasons, and I'm glad we could finally all get together and tag Blair along with us.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably one of the most, I guess, sentimental trips, most emotional trips that I've taken. I definitely will remember that for as long as I can remember, however that long is. But yeah, I enjoyed every minute of it. I wouldn't change 1 second of it. I got experience with my family, got experience with you guys. Just every part of it. It was just amazing. Yes, I wish I could have done a few other things, but it was meant to be for a reason, and I enjoyed every single minute of it. So thank you all to putting up with me and bringing me along and coming up with the idea to make this happen. So it was amazing. That's all I can say.
I want to publicly thank you to Scott for driving us around a lot. And, we always give you a hard time, Scott, but you're a great guy. You're a brother. So thank you for doing that and getting up early and driving us around, driving me to the airport, taking care of everything with that. And Blair, thank you for putting up with my antics. Everybody for putting up with my antics. But we had so much fun. It was such a blast. It was just like Scott said, he needed that. We all needed that.
Yeah.
Everyone coming together in Disney was something Alan always talked about. He always wanted to do this, and I'm glad we were able to do it for him. I can't tell you how many times he talked about going down there with you guys. So I know he's looking down, smiling, and I know he was there with us. Sorry.
Oh no, I know. I never got the opportunity to be with Alan in the park. Scott did on a couple occasions. Keith, you had a brief time with him, so that's something that you two have to remember. And Blair's got so many stories, whether it's her going all princessy in Disneyland, or any other time, just in Walt Disney World. And it was just, I'm so glad that I got to spend time with Blair on a more personal and emotional level. So Blair, thank you for allowing us into your life and Alan's life, and I'm grateful for that.
Thank you for including me in the Tiki family.
Oh, always and forever.
Of course.
If you want to be or not.
You won't let me out.
Yeah, no. Once you're in, it's like a gang. We have to jump you out. It's a whole big deal. It's just to reiterate, this was an extremely special trip for me and Jenny too. I couldn't imagine having better friends than y'all. It just was really fun, really special, and it's just one of those things that I'll treasure forever.
It's all because of me. You just wanted to be with me.
This was actually Jenny's trip to see you, and,
yes,
and
exactly.
Yes, that was the entire reason why we came. Was like, I have to meet Sean.
I know it.
And then she went home disappointed.
She's in therapy, so thank you for the extra bill. That's nice.
I think when I finally got up with you guys, the exact words from Jenny were, "Thank God you're here."
Yeah, she did say that.
Yeah, she's like, "Thank God somebody else is here."
Oh, another female, thank God.
Right.
Yeah, because we were filter free for the most part.
Yes, yes, we were.
Well, even Blair, when you were there, we were still filter free.
Yes, at one point I think I even said to you all, "I'm so glad you didn't try and filter things around me."
We had to be reminded that a woman was present with us.
Right. But I mean, that's like, it's just, that just tells you how comfortable everybody is with each other, and that's
right.
You just don't get that with
our brotherhood.
Anybody. So magic happened a couple times for us.
Yeah.
That's going to do it for this week. First, we want to thank our sponsors, Kingdom Strollers. Get your premium stroller and crib rental at kingdomstrollers.com. If you want to decorate those boring magic bands, check out the customized decals at myfantasybands.com. Make sure to use the code EnchantedTikiTalk20 to save 20% off your order. Let the vacation experts at mousepros.com help plan your next perfect Disney vacation. Get a clear view of the parks with Woody's polarized sunglasses. Check out all other wood frame styles at woodys.com. Don't forget to check out our store at redbubble.com/Tiki Talk Podcast. And you can connect with us on social media. Find us on Facebook at Enchanted Tiki Talk, Instagram and Twitter at Tiki Talk Podcast, and you can leave us a message on the Tiki Talk hotline, 256-4MY-TIKI, 256-469-8454. And if you enjoy the show, please rate us on iTunes.
You can find me on Twitter at 1 minute. I can't do it. 1 minute Disney Cream, mouseworldvacations.com and mousepros.com.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Dole Whip Daily.
And you can find me on Twitter at Scotty Campbell or on Instagram at Scotty Boy.
I'm on Twitter and Instagram at mholly579 for a very special guest, Blair, and all the fellas here. Alan, this one was for you, buddy, and take it away.
Thanks for listening this week for Sean and Keith and Matt. I'm Alan, and this has been Enchanted Tiki Talk. Aloha.
You know, I forgot to mention one other funny thing that happened. I remember Fred wasn't with us, and somebody said something like about Fred, and Blair goes, "I didn't even realize Fred was gone." And Keith goes, "No, I realized it." He goes, "He's like, I realized he was gone because there's somebody that finally goes to the bathroom more than I do."
Yeah, man, I thought that I was bad. Holy crap! That dude was like a bloodhound for bathrooms. I mean, he could like sniff them things out from 2 miles away.
That was so funny. Blair's like, "I didn't even know he was gone."
I think it's funny in the picture from Ohana of all of us toasting with our Lapu Lapus. It's Sean, Keith, Jenny, me, and Fred. It's like, here's the Tiki Gang and Fred.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Enchanted Tiki Talk has been brought to you by mousepros.com. Let us plan your perfect Disney vacation. And mickeymonthly.com, where you can get the park sent directly to you. And by kingdomstrollers.com for all your premium stroller and crib rental needs. Also by Trader Sam's Coffee. Why not brew some magic in your home? And finally, woodies.com. Sunglasses for a glare-free view of the magic. For all of us here, I'm David Benter. Thanks for listening to Enchanted Tiki Talk.